A summer trip to Laos and Thailand by 3 Summit Environmental School teachers changed how they now see the world. Teachers Mary Handgartner, Carissa Brudos, and Danielle Fields spent 2 weeks overseas as a result of a Fund for Teachers grant they received through the Wisconsin Department of Public Instruction. To learn as much about the countries as possible, the teachers fully immersed themselves in the cultures of these countries. Teacher Mary Handgartner explains.
It was like a wow. It was very interesting. We experienced all the different food, transportation. We saw many, many things from high poverty to those that had a little bit more than others.
We took a variety of transports. We were able to attend Muay Thai boxing matches, see some cultural performances of music, both singing, instruments, and dance.
Says thank you for coming. All right, give a big hand again, please.
In an effort to share all the aspects of their trip with Summit students and staff, the trio planned a school-wide Hmong celebration day. The day started with a presentation by the teachers on the highlights of their trip. Music teacher Danielle Fields shared one of the trip's scarier moments.
We had the opportunity to stop in a Hmong village off the Mekong River. And while we were walking through the village, there was a poisonous snake that slithered right in front of our feet.
After the presentation, students rotated through breakout sessions on Hmong history.
Usually they live in one place, and the gardens are in another place, and the water's in another place, and so Hmong people traditionally up in the mountains, they walk all over the place.
Art.
It looks like a flower, but actually it's an elephant's foot. Because it's a symbol of Thailand and Laos is the elephant.
Cultural music and dance. Traditional games. And Hmong food.
There's your sticky rice.
We learned new games. We learned about history. We learned about new instruments, and we learned about knitting and different colors.
Hmong elders taught the students about Hmong story cloths and the stories they represent. 5th grader Isabella Schramm explains one cloth's story.
The Hmong people had to run and go in jungles and stuff and try to get away from all the bad people.
Classmate Kiara Frutel also learned about the story cloths.
It represented how hard their life was, because it showed them going down the Mekong River, running from other people because they helped the U.S. and once they got their help, they left, and then the other people got mad, so they started to attack.
Frutel believes the lessons on the cloth are important for kids her age.
We wouldn't realize how much we need to respect them for helping us.
The students also learned about traditional Hmong instruments.
There's this banana leaf, and if someone's not there, you would call out with them and play the music for them and communicate with it.
Students also were taught traditional Hmong games.
Tops, and it was a game where you would kick it with the inside of your foot, and a rope game with rubber bands, and you'd have to hop on one foot and do a cartwheel. And another one is the rocks. You would hold rocks and then you'd throw it up and you had to catch it with on the back of your hand.
As students rotated through the activities, they had time to reflect on what they had learned about Hmong history.
We did this game, an exercise, where we'd try to draw our house and then we'd move, and then everybody would say they got frustrated because we had to move, you'd only get 1 second to do it, and then we'd have to move.
As the students completed the day's activities, teachers hoped it gave them a deeper understanding of the Hmong culture, as well as sparked their curiosity in learning about other cultures. For teacher Mary Handgartner, the trip of a lifetime has changed how she looks at each one of her students.
It opened my mind a lot more to students I've taught a long time, and but it gave me a better feel of where some students have come from, where some of the parents have come from, and it's not just necessarily from our Hmong individuals. but also other students. You know, where have they come from? And so it made me more aware of that. Maybe they came from Texas, and maybe they came from across the seas.